Peace, peace, peace. Oh yeah, yeah. Peace. Give an honor to source. Give an honor to ancestors known and unknown. Give an honor to the tree that's helping me deliver these channel message. Okay, give an honor to the matriarchal, patriarchal. Give an honor to you. Most importantly, give an honor to yourself. Um. So yeah. Hey, how y'all doing? It's been a minute, huh? Not too long, but it's been a little snippet. Wow. Where do we begin? I honestly feel like this message here is gonna be more so as I clear the air. This message is mainly, I will title this, let's see here. Don't let no one clip your wings. Okay? Don't let no one clip your wings. How y'all doing, beautiful people? If you haven't already noticed, the energy in itself is very heavy, some would say, very dense. I myself have been, as well as individually and collectively, have been going through major shifts, initiations, activations. Do not give up. And I can say give up in the sense of how vital these moments are for a lot of us. The theme that has been very, since I've been doing some studies and listening to other, beings who are ushering in so many things that are beautiful, so many things that are shifting as far as like divine beings who are also helping elevate what we see here happening right now. That being said, the theme that I really want to speak about is, for those aren't aware, is calling out that spirit of narcissism and how that in itself was in the past running rapid. And that's through the illusion of control. That's also through how these lower level energies or certain things have kept people in a loop, being how things have siphoned or fed off people's energy, and in a way of like how childhood traumas are come about as far as pain. There's so much, I'm telling you, y'all, that just, it can seem like this little, but you can be experiencing so much in just a little moment. So it's not even about being before you long. It's just so much that I can only fit in a video. And that being said, with the theme of the North Node being still in Taurus, now we're in Taurus season, just be very mindful. A lot of you who spiritual gifts are going to heighten. Going back to speaking about that spirit of narcissism or the illusion of control, what I see is very apparent now is that energy is making itself very clear in a lot of things. Even I myself was subjected to that, experienced a part of it, had to let go of things as such, because it's so many things that encompasses what that title actually means. And when you're talking about emotional manipulation, even from my experience, how, people use the term gaslighting. I feel like it's all having to do with whatever is keeping and feeding off, keeping people in the loop of control or in pain or experiencing the reality of, things repeating itself, rather than changing and shifting the narrative and having the strength. There was a sister that I listened to. I give honor and gratitude, by the name of, is it Solar? And she's on YouTube as well. And she speaks about a lot of this, and a lot of things, I'm telling you, a lot of things I express to people, a lot of things we don't get until we actually remove ourselves. I mean, things can be right in front of us, literally, like these shades is right in front of my eyes, but it's like, what's that saying, like the rose-colored glasses, like removing those things, or, to where you see completely different. And a lot of things, a lot of us do not see until we actually remove ourselves. And this is what's happening individually and collectively. It's like this tree. I've learned things so much about how some trees, or one tree, can affect the growth of others. It's just like a fruit that is rotten in a group of others, and it affects everyone. See, that's the thing about what a narcissist or someone who wants to possess people not realize they are possessed by something. And see, this is what collectively is being purged. And a lot of things cannot feed off of anyone if it isn't rooted in some type of fear. And a lot of us, as I said before in other videos, is a lot of us are in this generation, Pluto, is it Scorpio and Pluto generation? Correct me if you know, some of us know more about it, but we are the rebellious spirits, or those who are here to create chaos and change and shift. So a lot of things we are not going to agree with the previous generation. That being said, all the things that were hidden are now coming up. So you're going to see those behavior patterns of these, what we call parents or people, who we think that or assume that loves us, but they don't even see the love in themselves. Because a lot of what, due to the whole matrix or the false mother, people actually gravitating toward this idea as if, this inauthentic culture, this instant gratification, microwavable culture. Now that all this shit is dismantling, falling apart, the veil is thin, you're going to have to see what it is. There's no more hiding. There's no more hiding from yourself. There's no more hiding from others. Most importantly, there's no hiding from the creator or source, the Most High, however you want to title it. So this is why a lot of us, again, going back to the tree aspect, are being uprooted. Just like if a tree is affecting a lot of things, sometimes they have to remove that tree. But some of us are being removed, uprooted, and actually being placed in another, diaspora, or in another culture, or in another environment to thrive. It's not that you won't prosper where you are, but a lot of us are, one of the sister has said that sometimes with a narcissist, they don't even know how to heal. They want to, but they don't know how. I was like, so a lot of stuff we're not going to see until we actually are removed off, from that environment, from those people. Because we want, quote unquote, to love them. And in reality, a lot of things we avoid has to come through confrontation. It doesn't have to be physical, but a lot of things happen so that the healing can actually come in and transpire and process. So a lot of things we are like wanting to ignore it that cannot be ignored anymore. It's so many more things that, as this is a journey. I'm still learning on the journey. I'm become like I become so much aware how much, as a sister was saying, her name is Solar, but just so much, like, hold on, is it Solara? You know what? Again, I'll probably put it in my description or whatever, but just gratitude to just so many things that, again, I had to remove myself. And then a lot of things we don't see until it's actually, again, we're at distance from it. It's like no longer trying to feed that flame the fire, because that's what I've noticed what was happening. And until I call my energy back and start removing myself, because I thought a lot of this was just, oh, it's love. And it's more so than just love in itself. I start getting more clarity of the people. I start looking at people spiritually. I start looking at everything from a spiritual eye, what some may call the third, when really it's your spiritual, it's your first eye. So that's not to, say this and this is right or wrong. It's not about that. The thing about how we're ushering and guiding in, like the energy now is so, man, it's so vital to stay in a high vibe, or just even stay neutral. Stay rooted right now in your truth. Aries season now, it being Taurus being so much of being grounded, being rooted. But are you rooted in your truth? No longer, like, though the things like now are so apparent, you're going to see how people are going to cling so much out of desperation. These old outdated timelines, meaning these old ideas, these things of the past that can no longer be hidden. These things can no longer be held on to. People, places, things. This is all about Big Mama right now. This is all about the feminine aspects retaking her rightful place. Things being restored inwardly and outwardly. Those that are not willing to change and shift are going to be left behind. This is what being left behind is all about. Because no matter what people do, there's no stopping divine order. It simply is what it is right now. And y'all know y'all keep seeing me do this. It's like fucking bugs, but anywho. And most importantly, being authentic in all of this shit. People will be mad at you for being happy because they're not happy inside. That's something internally that they're fucking battling with. Because a lot of stuff now become very apparent. The powers that were didn't want you to get to this place. Didn't want you to honor your truth. Didn't want you to love on yourself. Didn't want you to heal those childhood wounds, or, align your chakras, or, remove certain things. Just learning so much through the connections and people that I've experienced, it's so apparent that mental health awareness is going to be very, just to think that a lot of stuff that we deem cool and acceptable, like people getting ass whoopings, violence, a lot of things we deem acceptable, was never fucking cool. I myself experienced certain things, and I just be like, something deep down within me, those who know that you have a soul, like, that's not righteous. That's not cool at all. So in being this, being true to self, if God is love, then if that's within me, then I am also love. Love has always been accessible. But a lot of things have been, created, manipulated. A lot of things were attached. A lot of things were sent. And now this shit is big. All the illusions are falling away. A lot of shit is falling away. It can no longer be hidden. The deception, the manipulation, the jealousy, all those things are apparent right now. The mental health, like just connecting with people, man, you'd be surprised how many people are accepting of what they feel is normal when you've never been normal. And a lot of shit we think is normal until we actually remove ourselves from those environments where we're in more peaceful environments. Then the more we distance ourselves, it's not to say you can't be a part of people's life, but a lot of things will become more, as you become more aware, you'll realize that the calling is still gonna keep fucking calling. No matter how much you do not want to face yourself, it's gonna keep calling. You know, it's just amazing. Like a lot of things I became very aware of. A lot of things it's not to, you know, some may say, oh, it's judging. No, it's because I fucking looked into myself first. Then we're able to, you know, to feel and point out the energies that I see with other people, because I've experienced it. I've acknowledged within myself. So when you do that, you become very sensitive to certain shit. This is why a lot of us don't like to be around a lot of people. This is why a lot of us now don't resonate with a lot of family. This is why a lot of us don't, a lot of things do not resonate, does not sit well. Because the shit don't sit well with you and your fucking spirit, man. Y'all out here thinking this inauthentic culture and shit is what it is. This is not what it is. It never was what it was. Some of us been, you want to call it lone wolf. I don't really say I was always alone, but I see why this path has been, in a way, somewhat, if you want to use the term, lonely. But really, it was just a lot of shit was revealed to me in childhood. A lot of shit, I was just well aware. I was well advanced. I was just more aware of shit that people didn't see, that I'd be sitting back looking like, you see that shit? Okay. But I also learned that I draw a 6. You across from me, you see a 9. I see a 6. I also learned perception. But I also learned as well, people are never going to see what you see. That doesn't mean you cannot be aligned. But a lot of shit right now, a lot of things are purging. A lot of you are going to meet people who had to do a lot of inner and shadow work to clear their heart space. Now, as well as me, now to be open to a more trusting, genuine, divine love. But I first had to give that shit to myself. Because a lot of us were just taught to look outside of ourselves. Get off me. Golly. But anywho, and that's going to be very apparent right now, the mental health, because a lot of things that, whether people want to fight it or not, is that you're going to be able to see who people really are. Because all the material things, all the things externally was a false narrative of what we felt love is and what it should be. All that led was to down a path of fucking self-destruction. A lot of us are going to be in positions where we're able to simply breathe and simply be able to channel and simply be able to balance. Now that a lot of us are at certain places and certain levels, doesn't mean we're at really an advantage. We're just more aware. Let me tell you something. As much as the world fucking demonize you, even me, to make it seem like just because I didn't want to be a part of a fucking trend, just because I didn't want to be a part of something that was popular, and I chose to be authentic, whether it be videos, sitting in a fucking chair, it ain't got to be a fancy ass chair, whether sometimes where I actually had to go through moments where I had to wear the same fucking clothes, but I made sure they got washed, whether I washed them shits in the fuck where I was in the hotel where I had to wash that shit with my hands, they got clean. You know, it's the things that isn't like, that can no longer be hidden. So this is that authentic shit. This that shit you can't buy with a price. This that vibration of truth, of love. This that shit that make people feel threatened because they're not living in that vibration, in that alignment with that. That doesn't mean I like have intentions on harming or hurting you. It's just where I've got within myself because I've recognized the bullshit in this world. How certain things want to feed off your pain, lower level shit. But when you're choosing to rise, there's gonna be resistance. There's gonna be those that say, oh man, what the fuck wrong with he crazy? But look at me. I feel amazing. My happiness ain't dependent on you or nothing externally. Not any material shit, not no car, not no money, not none of that. Not even people that I realize that are on my journey. I don't depend on their love. Yes, I'm talking to you, brother and sister, whomever, however you want to title yourself. That love is solely dependent on me. This was a journey. This was a process. Because I wanted so much. We wanted so much for our mothers and fathers. Not realize to love us, but not realizing that these people were possessed. These people were, things were attached to them. They never knew who they were. This is not to criticize them. It's just because a lot of us are here to change that cycle, change that narrative, to live authentic. And whether they're a part of our lives or not, whatever happens is a part of divine order. Whether it be your partner, your so-called spouse, even your kids, there will come a point to where it's just like this tree. If it leaves, let it. Because you have to be like this tree. I'm just like this tree, no matter what. And what comes from me shall prosper, shall be abundant, shall live in truth, live in love. No fear. So I'm not looking for the world to accept me. Shit, some of the times you got to realize some of the people going to hate you because you choose to live in your fucking truth. You choose to live for you. Because choosing you, in essence, is also choosing to be mentally stable. Choosing is also choosing to be honest with yourself. It's also choosing when to rest. It's also choosing the lifestyle that you feel that is in alignment with your higher power or source. It's also choosing, you is choosing love. So why would I sit here and put on a facade? It was a lot of things you have to realize we all were protected from, because the powers that be or the principalities, the dark forces, were doing their best so you can trip up. But even when you tripped, even when you fall, there's still something protecting you, because some of the people or whomever wanted to kick you while they were down. Some of you, they didn't want me to get to this place. Do you hear what the fuck I'm saying? They did not want me to get to this place within me. Because if I look externally outside of me for people to accept me, guess what? I will fall victim to whatever they feel that they have power over. Whether it be money, whatever it be, whatever. No, a lot of things. This is the faith wall. A lot of y'all preach and say all this other stuff. Where's your faith? Most importantly, within yourself. Where's your faith in your walk? They did not want you to get to this place. A lot of things were revealed to them. A lot of things. Yes, your father, your mother, whomever it is, people in your family, yeah. Whomever it is that's hiding in the unseen. Some of you made agreements with people prior to your arrival here, and guess what? You are also their karma. Just as well as they were your karma. Now it's about getting into alignment so you can receive that dharmic path. It's your fucking birthright. It is our birthright to be happy, to be joyous, to live a life of abundance, to live a life of prosperity, without having shame and guilt of living that. People will actually want you to feel how you feel. Make that shit make sense. Have you ever heard a tree grow? So sometimes, even as I express this message, sometimes you have to remove yourself. And you have to be silent. but you also have to be honest. We have came through generations where people have used, so many things where it was so much of survival. We have broken that generational chain and curse and returned those hexes and all those things. We binded that shit up and banished it. That spirit of confusion. We did it. A lot of y'all, man, do you realize that folks didn't want you to get here? They did not want me to get here. They didn't want you to get here. That's why how vital this is for you. A lot of you are going to create generations that come after the one that you see now, because you're here to clean that shit up. You're here to face the things that they were afraid to face. You're here to face all the fears that they were afraid to face. You're here to heal the things that they were afraid to heal. You as a woman, man, you who being who you are individually, you are here to heal those things and be that divine matriarchal and patriarchal in your family. Yes, I was also criticized, called many things but a child of the Most High, just because I chose to fucking heal. Just because I didn't want to agree to people being, certain things I would address with molestation or verbal or physical abuse. Because some of the things similarly, whatever, how the fuck you want to title it, I had to experience. Because Spirit knew that I was going to be given the willpower and the courage in my heart, because what's in the heart is going to come out of the mouth. And also what's pushed down eventually, what is that saying? What's hitting will someday fight to be acknowledged. That same cornerstone, that same stone that is rejected from the world becomes the same cornerstone to build that fucking building. Voila. Magic. No, you cannot destroy me, because you cannot destroy energy. No, you can't get rid of me. Because even after me, there will be seeds that will come after me. There will be those that come greater after me. So am I concerned? For what? What is there to fear? You made it this far. All of you. And then your star seeds or your kids will come after you. What is this really about? To the women's and mothers, like, get this shit right this time. What is this really about to you? No, you don't no longer have that taste for alcohol or certain things or certain low vibrational things. But everyone is different, love. Everyone is different. Everyone is experiencing things on different levels. Everyone is experiencing, they wanted to fool you and make you think like, oh, you got to have all these things to feel like somebody. Ain't that fucking stupid? That doesn't mean that you can't. See, it's just as much as I always give this analogy on how, like, when my grandmother was pregnant with my mother, I say 4 or 5 months long, I and my sisters were also an egg inside of my mother, as she was a baby inside of my grandmother. So you got to look at generationally how this shit has, part of what the inheritance is. You also inherit the curses as well as a treat day, as well as you break and face those things. You also have, you possess the keys. See, the things that want to possess you, you also possess it. You also have the power to unlock those things within you. If your family has been living through a cycle of, that bullshit as illusion of, renting or, a loop of, alcoholism, all those things, you're the one that binds that shit up and dispel it and banish it. Then you are the one that inherits that abundance for them. And abundance ain't just one simple thing. It isn't just money. It's a frequency. It's something that cannot be really expressed into words. Love in itself is a frequency. So these things you have within yourself, it's not, a lot of this won't resonate with people. Let that shit fly like the bird. But eventually, I'm planting a seed to where you will return. See, that's the beauty in it. It's just like a child. You plant the seed. So you got to realize, what have we been projecting on and pouring? What has been poured into us as children? Now, what are you pouring into them? How are you keeping your legacy going? This shit is about legacy. Most of y'all, that fear of death, a lot of us know how to, we've seen so much. I've seen so much what they call physical death young. I've had near-death experience. And we're not going to get on the topic due to knowing motherfuckers do witchcraft and shit. Death spells, yada, yada, yada. But guess what? I'm still here. Ain't not going no fucking where. So a lot of what is happening now is that we're so powerful now. We're standing in our truth, our divine truth, that divine love. Those things are returning to us. Because the Most High always knew it was you. I always knew it was me. Anytime there was doubt or anything else, I just knew that wasn't me. I always knew it was me. Knew it was me. So I had to be confident in this walk. No matter tens of thousands may come to my feet, but they shall fall. No matter how it's projected to the world, it's you you're looking for. You, your own universe. Everything has always been within you. I know people are like, how? What do you mean? Let me express to you, the beauty of all of this is that most of you are now seeing. It can no longer be hidden to see the behavior patterns, to see that a lot of your people that you've been with are possessed by things, entities, or lower shit that's attached to them. Because you at one point were subjected to it. But somehow, somewhere, you are more powerful. You choose to do the healing. You choose to acknowledge those things. So then those things can no longer be in your auric field, no longer be a part of you, so it has to find another host. It has to find something. And see, this is the thing about spiritual warfare. For the fight isn't flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness and principalities in high and low places. However, you know. Some of y'all know that. But this is the beauty of it. A lot of you don't even realize a lot of your family, people around you, whatever you want to title it, were being used just to simply work off whatever you're fearing, to project, to trigger, to do all those things. But you also become aware of this, so now you can be the change. You can be the leader. A lot of you now, I knew myself, you are being pushed. It seems like they were pushing you away when in actuality, you were being prepared. You were being prepared to sit upon your throne. You were being prepared to be immovable peace like this tree, immovable love, immovable bliss. So again, going back to the tree, is that a lot of things up to this very moment, it says judge a man by his fruit. Their fruit are their kids. So when you start to see people's actions, you have to be aware that, okay, it's something more than what meets the eye. So you are the tree, and somewhat people can represent the leaves, the branches, you know, where they say the apple don't fall too far from the tree. But a lot of you are here now to create a whole new generation. They don't call it a family tree for no reason. You are here to connect with others like-minded, who are in alignment soulfully. Those who have did the inner work, those who will meet you where you are. Whether the Most High, the source, has to uproot you or remove you, only to replace tenfold with better. So it's not a punishment, it's a preparation. Just know that it's always and has to been this way. And see, a lot of which can no longer be ignored. This is why you're seeing people for what it is. Accept it for what it is. Doesn't mean you still cannot have compassion, but you have to have just as much compassion and passion it is for your gifts and for what it is you're here to do. No matter how much outside of you people are going to scrutinize and say whatever, you've gotten to this place now within to where that shit, what? So what? Get out of my face. And most of the time, they're not walking through the doors that you're walking through. Some of us are now having to walk through doors that, what is that? Some of us are being guided through doors. So a lot of us have to part ways because everyone cannot go with us. That doesn't mean you cannot go for the sake of the healing for yourself and your clan or your tribe, but it's more so you could get you together. Because a lot of things we don't see again. Someone's face to face and they're yelling, rah, 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 you, yeah. You're getting nowhere until someone has to fucking walk away and realize, like, yo, hey, you got to go see yourself. This person may not ever see themselves, but you got to go be willing to see yourself. You got to be willing to really take accountability for your actions. That's one thing that I had to learn and accept. That's the beauty of all of this. Are we really taught in this society to take an account for our own actions, to carry our own water, to carry our own burdens, other than carrying others people's burdens and loads? That's why it stops with you, because you've been carrying your mother's and father's burdens. That is not your burdens. It's just been carried through your DNA structure, through your generations. But it's meant for you to let that shit down, to let it go, to now take up your own water, carry your own cross, as some would say, individually, and realize that your healing is also their healing. But it doesn't mean like you're going to heal for them. That's one thing along this path that is very troublesome for a lot of people. We cannot convince them that they need to heal, that they need to eat this way, that they need to be this way, yada, yada, yada. You will run your fucking self dry. I've learned this on my path. Your cup will run it dry instead of run it over. So the beauty in all of this is knowing that you're your own savior. I'm not here for people to agree. But when shit start getting crazy, certain stuff start happening, and people looking outside of themselves, you're going to realize that your breath first comes from within, as does everything. So the beauty of all of this is that you too have the power, that the gifts that were passed down. I don't give a fuck how much wickedness and stuff that we don't see, and those of you know what I'm speaking about. As certain things become elevated and you become more aware, those things are returned to you. As you call your energy back in, as certain stuff start to become more aware to you, just know that this pole shift is also a shift in power. It's a shift in grace. It's a shift in love. Most importantly, remember that everyone is not coming with you. A lot of us had to go through the storm with ourselves to learn to be the eye of the storm. A lot of people will still go through their storm and don't even realize that they're also an eye in the storm. Some people, you will be a rainbow in someone else's storm. Some will be the storm in someone else's rainbow. At one point in time, we were both. But the beauty of it all is that, can you still be the rainbow in your own life? No matter how strong the wind becomes, no matter how powerful the storm is, can you still see the light, and be the rainbow after, the storm has passed? Can you be there for yourself, most importantly? And most importantly, for others, because no matter what, the tide has shifted now. And those that are authentic, the same coattails and same people that they were riding and jock riding and, for all the bullshit that they was pushing, low vibrational shit. Now the tide has shifted in those who are authentic, who, when you think your journey was in vain, it was never fucking in vain. This is one thing I know now. I sit back and laugh. I don't give a fuck if I had to wear the same shoes through my whole journey, People saw me walking, could have offered a ride. It was cool because I had to go through my journey with myself to now whatever comes in, I am grateful for it. I appreciate it, but I also know that this is still not for me to keep. What's given to me will also be shared with someone else. See, the past will teach you that hoard all this shit to make you feel like something. And even in that feeling, you're not even fucking fulfilled. I'd rather and know that I am fulfilled now to receive whatever it is and know that that doesn't fulfill me. I'm already fulfilled. I'm already whole within myself as a being, as a divine being, because to be whole and holistic, you have to honor both the dark and the light, the yin and the yang, because they're both one and the same. So a lot of these people that portray in the light, that they're of the light, haven't even faced that fucking darkness, because a lot of what they do is fucking dark and malicious. Some of these people, you have no idea, are some of the most insecure, jealous, wicked people. But now, I always told y'all, and I will continue to tell y'all, we are the powers that be now. The light is here, the sun is here. And the sun don't look for nothing for power. It knows that it's a source of its own power, and it will illuminate everything. It will shine. Everything has its own purpose. The moon has its purpose. The trees has its purpose. But guess what? It all remembers that it's all connected as well. Because you need the storm. You need the rain for that tree to grow. This is what people want to avoid. You need shit to come in to shake you the fuck up. How you think change come about? How do you think a shift comes about? That shit is uncomfortable. But I always tell people this. I'm going to let y'all enjoy the rest of this beautiful Venus Day, Friday, Love Day. This tree right here, this me. Some of the most ancient shit here. This tree ain't worrying about how big the storm is. This tree ain't concerned about who coming up, knocking on it. This tree ain't concerned about worries. This tree ain't, concerned about a lot of shit that has nothing to do with its growth. It still is programmed to grow. It still, it serves its place as a protector, a nurturer. It provides shade for me when it's hot as fuck. It also reminds me how people will leave. It also reminds me how seasons will change, meaning how people will change. It also reminds me of the nutrients within myself. And most importantly, if you cut the tree open, you will see the rings. You will see the age. You will see the wisdom inside of what this tree and how this tree came to be. But the beauty of it all is that deep down, as big as it is, it represents the masculine aspect, the physical, what we see in the physical. And this is what has been keeping people so fucking delusional, and dumbed down, is that the society only wants you to see this. Oh, look at the fruit. Oh, look at how much fruit it has. Look how big it is. Look how, look how big its butt is. Look how beautiful it is. Only want you to focus on the beauty. But what makes that shit beautiful? It only wants you to focus on the leaves, what it can give you, not knowing deep down. All trees ain't giving off good fruit, sus. Because as big as those trees are, as much as it can expand its branches or whatever, guess what? The roots down below that, in the darkness, is just as big and vibrant. See, that's the thing people want to forget. And this is what I learned on my path. To know me is to love me. And I first got to love myself, but I got to love my roots. That's the thing I want to express to y'all. Who taught you to hate your roots? Why do you despise your roots? Why do you despise and hate what you come from? Why are you afraid of the dark? Why are you afraid of your fucking self? Why are you afraid of your so-called ancestors? How are you going to learn which one wanted the good for humanity and the ones who actually played a hand in humanity's demise and detriment? Y'all want to get caught up in this color shit. It's bigger than that. Because when you close your eyes, everything dark. Everyone. And those that can see in the dark will know what I'm speaking about. So again, the roots. Learn about who you are. I always tell people that. I be like, what's your last name? What's your surname? Oh, do you know your nationality? Oh, do you know where these people came from? A lot of people here are frowned upon in the U.S. or in the so-called Americas, whatever you want to call it, is because a lot of us have so much shit within our DNA that you can't really put a title on it. Because African American, you can be one or the other one, or you tell people their nationality, or people have knowledge of it. And a lot of you are going to realize, like a lot of you, especially in the southern areas, there's so much German, Scottish. It's so many things that's going to be revealed right now in these times, and it's already happened. That a lot of you have royal descendants. A lot of shit came from these places. A lot of things now are being turned upside down. The tail is becoming the head. It's just like if you turn this tree literally upside down, as big as just these branches are, the roots are just as bigger. What does that tell you about you? The world wanted you to believe to just look at the beauty. Look at just the external of people. And these are some of the fucked up as most people, man. They're wicked inside, even if they have something inside. It is what it is. But it's you that has to go deep dive within yourself. That's what the shadow work is all about. This is what's going inward about. This is the uncomfortable conversations you have to have with the elder, your mother, because you're afraid to fucking heal your relationship with your father. As a woman or a man, you're afraid to heal your relationship with your mother. Come on, man. Being a leader ain't selling dope and what you think being a leader is. Who taught you that? You don't even know your father because another man taught you to do the shit that you're doing. So how are you being led? You're not being led. You're no leader. That's coward shit. A coward will only keep his people in a loop for the betterment of, so he can feel superior. These people were never leaders. They were false leaders because they were part of a false narrative. And this is why they're going to be judged. And you looking and you seeing, and there will be more of us who are going to judge righteously of these people. For those that know, they know. This is why a lot of us return. This is why a lot of things have to happen the way it is. This is why a lot of injustice in the physical shall and already has been justice in the spiritual. So all things are seen. This is why the tail is becoming the head. This is why you're seeing systematically all this shit being turned upside down. So you can see it. I tell people, you keep brushing shit up on the rug, eventually that rug gonna reveal itself. There's so much karma on these lands, if you want to call it the Americas. There's so much karma here that a lot of you don't even realize. A lot of you are on this land to clear that karma for your ancestral lineage. Heal it so you can be uprooted and move somewhere else for your protection. And there will be others that would await you. Because in spirit, they know who you are. They see who you are. But no, y'all better get the fuck away from these people that sometimes they want to stay attached to this and hold on to the destruction of this matrix system and all this other stuff. Because they know. They don't realize that was the false mother. That was the false narrative of women being in these positions and our mothers suffering and at the hands of unrighteousness and all that shit. You thought that was normal. And you thought that was cool. Y'all thought that was cool. I sit back and I had this conversation with myself. I sit back and laugh at like, oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. And you're gonna wonder why these people want to run back and breadcrumb you and all that shit. Because a lot of them had their hand and they were a part of it. A lot of them could have helped. So what does that make you? That's like accessory to the, what do they call that shit? Accessory to the crime. A lot of y'all know y'all could have helped. But one thing I know, my heart was never like y'all's. I could never do what you did. No. And I won't. Because I love myself more. And I know that this is why a lot of us here is that now is not the time to be taking on nobody's shit. This is why a lot of people going to resurface, because they're running. They want to run to you. They want to return and run to you for like you're their safe haven. No, this is why a lot of us are now being removed, because no one is exempt. That's all I'm speaking about. No one is exempt from this shit. No one is exempt from karma. It doesn't matter where you run to. Your lineage, you're not exempt. A real leader is going to lead you to yourself. Lead you to how to guide you to yourself, to face these things. It's not going to be as easy. Not when a lot of us start to realize that, man, how did I get through that shit? There's obviously something protecting me. So, again, be the tree. No matter how much things look like externally, this tree is not concerned about anything or worried about anything. Not even getting cut down. Because some trees fall in the middle of the forest or whatever it is, and you never will hear it. Some trees will fall and another tree catches it. But most importantly, I tell people, you see these branches, I think there's an African proverb or whatever proverb is that. You don't see the branches fighting amongst each other. All of this serves its purpose. Even the tree still knows it's rooted. If this tree could speak, it probably have a lot to say. But most importantly, to tell you about its experience here. Being that it was this big, and no one really knows what you're gonna grow into. Most of these people have no idea who you are. It's all been about who they didn't want you to become. And in your becoming, you're still becoming. That's the beauty. Remain a student. It's all beautiful. The whole illusion is for people to really think that they got it all together. No one got this shit together. No matter how passionate I sound, let me tell you something. It's still a learning process. It's still growth, but it's still beautiful. But you can feel this shit. It's coming from here, and you know it. So cherish these moments. Take care of yourself. Breathe. And enjoy this shit, because it's your birthright. It's your birthright to be of joy. Because it's Taurus season, and there's more to come. Next time you may see me on a yacht. You may see me somewhere just enjoying, embracing life. That still doesn't mean that there isn't healing. That still doesn't mean that my task is complete. But what I will say is this. First thing you will do, last thing you will do here. Breathe. Peace. Shalom.